everyone, it's me, Carissa, your friendly biology teacher this year. So co-op was canceled today, so I thought I'd kind of catch you guys up. It won't be too long. This was a pretty simple chapter, nothing to worry about. So probably a good time for co-op to be canceled. This one's not too tough. I'm glad we were able to meet together for all the crazy genetics and protein synthesis and stuff like that. That was kind of hard. So anyways, easy chapter on scientific classification or taxonomy. Your Quizlet for this chapter is up. I just got it up, so it's ready to go, and so all the other quizzes prior to that are ready as well. So if you haven't done those are up and ready to go by chapter. So kind of a funny thing, when I made the taxonomy projects, the little printout with the instructions that came home last week, I went on the website and clicked all around, and I swear that everything was working fine. Sometimes I do things late at night, and maybe I'm just imagining that I did. But anyways, by the time my daughter was working on things today, she was on the Category of Life website and noticed that the little pictures that are in the textbook that are like here and here and here, these are no longer like that, so they must have done some updating, so it's a little weird. So I wanted to get on a little video. It's so out of my comfort zone. I know we talk about it all the time, but to kind of help guide you a little bit so that you don't get worried or frustrated, since it's not like what it says in the book. It's not too terribly different, but a little bit. So I'm going to click around here for you, and so help to kind of guide you so you can get your project done. The taxonomy projects are due next week. We're going to kind of do all of that in class. We're going to discuss just a little bit about the animal kingdom. It's a pretty kind of complicated thing as far as like all the different phyla and all that stuff, so you won't have to memorize all that. So our discussion will be pretty quick, just kind of fun discussion, and most of our discussion will be what we talk about with our projects, because we're going to learn about all the creatures that you guys have been learning about one by one. It'll be the best way to learn all those things. So that's what we're going to do next week, and be prepared the week after that. We're going to do our first dissection while we study the phylum Chordata. So that means having a spinal cord. So that's what's looking forward. If you've had your work done that you're going to turn in today, just hold on to it, and I will grab it from you next week. And so going forward, due next week are these things here on week number 4, February 8th, 14. This is our discussion and lab. I'll probably take away the lab since we're not in class, but if you watch this video, then I'll give you credit for being in class. So you've got your workbook pages, your report, your Quizlet. Oh, the crash course I've got up on iGrade under the videos for chapter 14. So you can get on there and download that. Just beware, parents. I downloaded the whole thing up there. It's got the answers too, so no peeking, kids. And it's got the transcript to the video. So anyways, so that's what's due next week. No lab report or anything, just the one video. I want you to concentrate on your classification project. So if we were in class today, I would have wanted you to watch this video. It's really kind of fun and annoying all in the one, but it's only 52 minutes and 52 seconds. It's under taxonomy song and YouTube. So it shows you kind of how everything's lined up. It kind of has a catchy tune to help you remember the order in which the species or in which things are classified. So watch that video for me. That's what you've been looking at. I tried to do the front facing and the other facing, and I'm sure there's a way, but I'm too low tech for that. So if you got to stand here and stare at this screen. All right. So watch the taxonomy song, okay? It's fun, and it'll help you understand things a little bit better. All right. Oops, wrong one. Okay, so your book tells you to go to the catalog of life, and it tells you to click this annual checklist and blah blah blah. Well, that's not there anymore. So, kind of in the instructions, I wanted you to kind of go and click around in the search engine there, you know, under its, you know, common name, like domestic cat and things like that, like it says here. Well, from what I can tell, the way they've got it all updated, you can't really do that anymore. So you're probably going to have to just decide whatever it is that you want to look into, and look up their scientific name from there, whatever it is that you want, whether it's a beetle or a lizard or a mushroom or a bacteria, whichever you decide. You can see here, if you go to, so this is just the home page, the category of life. Well, here it is. Here's the home page. This is what you'll see at first. And then if you'll go to data and I think browse, kept getting them confused. There, that's what you'll see, the browse. And then you'll see down here, there's your various kingdoms. And I know we talked in the book that there's only 5 kingdoms, but apparently there are 2 newly discovered kingdoms. Maybe they're so small that doesn't really matter, but you still have, or 1, 2, 3 of those. So there's the different kingdoms. So you can kind of start there. So if you want to go and say, well, I want to be different than everybody else. I don't want to do an animal. I want to do a plant. So when you click plant, here we are, we're under Plantae. So now we got to go to the next, you know, to the phylum. Here's the phylum. So that's the one level down. And looks like there's 8 different phylum in the plant kingdom. We're going to have a whole chapter on this too. So you can come down here, click on the phylum. And here's all 8 different phylum. So you can pick one at random, or maybe you know ahead of time, like maybe you want to look up tulip and you find out what the scientific name is for that and its category. You can look it up this way. So I don't know any of this because I'm not a plant person. So then you can click on the phylum. I wouldn't worry about the subphylum. Then you go to the class and click on whatever class your plant is. And I want you to note too, all of these names at the end of your phylum are their, like, you know, scientific discoverer. Okay. So you can click on the phylum, or I'm sorry, the class. See, now we're getting smaller and smaller. Now we've got the order. So maybe you want to do something random. Just click on things till you get to what it is. Oh, that looks fun. Okay. So now we're down to family. So on your project, I wanted you to kind of keep, when you're comparing, contrasting, I want you to pick your organism that you want and research it on, I guess, the top part. And then I want you to find another organism that is similar, but maybe in a different family or a different genus. So, like in the book, it talked about, a tiger, and so there you go all the way down to like Felidae, so a feline, and then it goes down even further to Panthera. So that's like the big cats versus the little cats. So once you go down to the family Panthera, then there are all these different kinds of big cats. So I want you to pick the one that you want to study, and then I want you to pick one that is in the same category all the way down to family or genus, and make it a little bit different so that you're comparing a panther with a tiger, that kind of thing. Or a coyote with a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Okay, so like the domestic dog. So that's kind of what I want you to do, and this is how you find that. So we're down here in this plant, so I'm going down to the family. So there we are. We're all the way down to as little as it is. So we're going to click on it, or as specific as it is. All right. So there is our scientific name. I'm not even going to try to say it. Okay. In all of its categories. And then you can click down here under the link to original resource. So this one brought up a different database. And so it's going to give you all the information that you need right here. Okay. So let's go back up to the category of life here. Oh wait, not there. I'm going to go home so I can start it over. Alright, so I'm going to go to Browse. Hey. So let's go to Animal. So here's all the phylum of the animals. So here's one similar to what we did in the book, Chordata. So having a spinal cord. Here's the class. So look, you can see, look, here's amphibia. It's probably amphibians there. Reptiles. Avis, birds. Where did you go? Oh, there we go. Mammalia, so that's mammals. Subclass and infraclass you can skip. Just do the main ones. Order. Let's see, what can we do? Let's do a little different one. Where was the one about the feet? There we go. Perissodactyla. So that means odd numbered toes. So they don't always do it by what they eat. They do it by another another classification. So these are all about what their hooves look like, how many toes. So they do it by odd and even numbered toes. So these are odd numbered toes. So let's see. So Equidae, that's probably horse. Let's do something different. Oh, Rhinoceridae, probably rhinos. So let's see what this one is. Here's genus. Which one should we pick? How about that one? Only one species of this guy. So this is its binomial nomenclature. Acrocodia Goldman, and I think Goldman is the discoverer. So one more down to the species. There we go. Acrocodia indica. That's its binomial name. So like its first and its last name. So I'm going to click on it. So we've got all the way down. Animalia cordata, Mammalia, Parasidactyla, Tapiridae, Acrocodia inca. So all the way down. That's all of their classifications. All right, and so your book does call out this itis.gov, which is a database of information put out by the Smithsonian, and so and another one. What was it that they said? It's at the beginning. So this is also a reputable database of information for all the different species, and you'll find all of that right here. So look, there's their kingdom, synonyms, so other names that mean the same as that species. And then all the way down is their hierarchy pyramid there. Okay, and this is fun. This is how you can probably find it right there. See Malay tapir, that's its common name. So that particular one, even-toed animal. So you can see all of its classifications. You can look up what those mean. Tapiridae, what that means in that family. And you can find its, common name that way. Okay. So I did find this also for you. If you go to the ITIS website, itis.gov, you can go to this little search box here and click on common name. And you can even click which kingdom that you want to even narrow the search down more. So we'll hit that. And so what this is going to do is if I type in rhino, it's going to take that word that you just typed in, and it's going to search every single organism in the animal kingdom that has rhino in its name. So sometimes this is a way to go in and find something cool to look for. If you're like, I want a really cool animal that I've never known about. So there's all kinds that you can see here. So any rhinoceros iguana, a rhino horned lizard. Here's an actual rhino. A rhinoceros snake. A square-lipped rhinoceros, a striped rhinophis. There's a white rhinoceros. a zigzag. So that might be something fun for you to do, to like look for what animal that you're looking for. And it tells you its entire, you know, binomial name here. Look, rhinoceros unicornis. Indian rhinoceros. That's pretty cool. Hairy rhinoceros. So, here, let's do this one. The unicornis. Why not? So, we'll click on it. And you can see all of its synonyms. All of its common names. Indian one-horned rhinoceros. Greater one-horned rhinoceros. Indian rhinoceros. Great Indian rhinoceros. So those are all the same species. All those different names. And then there's their taxonomic hierarchy. Chordate, vertebrae, mammal. Okay. So that's pretty handy. So you get there from getting to the final destination of your catalog of life and clicking down here at the very bottom, and it'll bring up everything there, just like we saw here with kind of the blind search where we typed in some random common name and it finds it for you. So that's probably the best way to do it. There, Smithsonian Institution and Science for a Changing World. It's done that one. So, anyways, I hope that's helpful for your project. Click around, explore some things, look some things up, maybe some animals in your life, maybe animals you've seen at the zoo, animals that your grandmother has seen out on the farm, or whatever. So, hopefully that helps you to understand the system a little bit. And so, watch the videos, click around, have fun exploring, pick some cool animals, you guys. There's lots in God's creation, or plants if you're that kind of person. I hate to be discriminatory. Or maybe you're really fascinated by fungus. Go for it. I can't wait to hear it. So, all right, I think that's about it. Off we go to YouTube. Have a great week, guys. Oh, and I'm going to send an email out to your parents. Just giving updates on everything, too. So if you have questions, call me. If you need anything, call me. Text me. All the things. All right. High five.